other than beating up another black man in the ring. You can use your hands to save a life on the surgery table. You can use your hands to be the one at the banker writing the damn checks, making the loans for our people. You can use your hands to do that rather than laying hands on your people in the ring, right? But have you ever saw yourself being that type of upstanding man? You ever seen yourself doing that? Guess what? You're still young. You're only 14. You're only 14, Gio. You still have the chance to do that. That's what I'm trying to say. You still got the opportunity to change your entire life. You've only lived on this earth for 14 years. No, listen. Give me Second Maccabees 4.
I'm gonna tell y'all something I realized.
Give me Second Maccabees 4.
Right now.
What's up?
Not listening to older people is gonna fuck y'all up.
Oh, he said not listening?
18 last year and it fucked me over.
Okay.
I'm letting this go.
Hey, listen to this really quick. What's your name, sis? Deandra. What's your name, brother? Jim? Jay? Huh? Leandria. And Jaquez. Okay, we got another Jaquez right here.
Hey.
And, okay, and little one's name?
7.
7? Okay. Listen to this. Hey, I want you to listen to this. This is in the Bible. Okay, what we're out here teaching is we are the Israelites. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the Israelites according to the Bible. Now, we're about to read in the Bible about our ancestors and what happened when white people ruled over us. The Greeks. Give me verse 15, read that.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers.
So, start up at verse 13, read that.
Verse 13. Now such was the height of the Greek fashion.
Such was the height of the Greek fashion. The Greek fashion is how the Greeks dressed. Sister, I got a question for you. The Greeks are white people, right? Right? Okay. Our people started following the Greek fashions. Today in America, which women started wearing pants? Was it black women or white women? Which ones?
White women.
White women. And our women followed after white women.
Yeah, we supposed to wear dresses.
My sister. Ooh, look at you.
I was in
You,
jail.
hey, you all right.
I was in jail for 3 months. So
Yeah.
I got out in December, but I started reading about how we the Israelites and all of
You
this
right,
stuff.
sister. You all right.
And I started learning ancient Hebrew. I know Hebrew.
Okay, so listen to this. We're going to get into this, right? We're talking about when white folks ruled over us then and today. Read on.
And increase of heathenist manners. Through the exceeding profaneness of Jason,
Read.
that ungodly wretch,
Read on.
and no high priest, that the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar.
Okay, I want you to listen to this really quick. Listen. Go ahead.
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise.
In the what?
The place of exercise.
Now, in the times of Greece, what was the place of exercise called? A gymnasium. A gymnasium. Today, where do you go shoot hoops at? At the gym. The gym is short for gymnasium. So way back then, they was having niggas, or black people, up in the gym working out for sports. And what do we want to do today? Sports. What did they have us doing? In the gym all the time. We think that's our only way out. No, you smart enough to be a doctor, brother. You smart enough to be a lawyer, brother. You smart enough to be an engineer and have your own engineering company, brother. You smart enough for that, but they don't teach you that. They say you only good enough to dribble a basketball. A couple years ago, when LeBron James was trying to, because you don't like how the police treat us. When LeBron James was trying to speak about how they treat us, guess what Laura Ingraham said to him? A white woman on Fox News. Shut up and dribble. That's all you good for, nigga. Is to dribble the damn ball. But guess what? You better than that. You're the Israelites.
Right.
That's what we're trying to show y'all. Let's read it again. Or keep on reading.
Verse 14. That the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise. After the game of discus.
After the game of what?
After the game of discus.
The game of discus, where do they do discus at? Where they get the disc and they do like that? Y'all seen seen them do discus? What? Yeah. What's that sport called? It starts with an O.
Olympics.
The Olympics. Right. The Olympics. They was getting black people here to play in the Olympics, entertaining Caucasians, entertaining white people. So I hear you when you say, I want to be, what'd you say, a sport? You said something about sports. What you say? Basketball? Football. And you said boxing. A lot of our people that end up in boxing, they get a lot of brain damage, bruh. They damage their whole body. And they damage it to entertain white people. Right. You getting all that money, but your brain don't function where you can even use it. Damn. So, and same thing with football. What's the career total for a football player? Oh yeah, they get CTE. Yep. But how long does an average football player stay professional?
3 to 7 years.
I think it's less than that. I think it's like 2 to 3 years. I don't even think it's 7. No, I'm saying average, right? Average is like 2 to 3 years, bruh. And guess, and how good do you gotta be to make it? Right. Bro, it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance, 1 in 100,000 chance of you even getting there. But guess what? You changing who you are, changing how you think about yourself, how you think about yourself, you changing that, you will determine your destination. You can change that. But you gotta know who you are. You ain't a nigga on the street. You gotta change the way you dress. You gotta change the way you present yourself. You gotta change the way that you speak. Give me that 1 Corinthians 15. Hey, you can get somebody coming up. I'm gonna keep going. I ain't gonna stop. I'm gonna just tell you now, I'm not gonna stop teaching. 1 Corinthians 15, I wanna get Ephesians 4, evil communication. Listen to this real quick. Evil what you are portraying and putting out into the world, that's what you getting back. You portraying niggerdom. You portray whoredom. You portray the world to look at you a certain way. And when you treat it that way, you like, I'm shocked. You got to change what you think. Read that.
429.
Yeah, read that. Read.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners.
Hey, so young brother. Hey, bro, what's his brother's name? Hey, Gio. Yeah. What the officers bringing out is very heavy for y'all to understand something. What y'all listen to, what y'all watch, and the things you admire as far as role models, it's gonna corrupt your good manners. What you see on the TV, what you see on the rap videos, they're gonna change you into becoming what they rap about. Read that again.
Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners.
It's gonna corrupt y'all good manners. Y'all got family that's in jail? What about family that's locked up or that got shot and that's dead? We all got family that's in there, right? Say that again? Right, so you got friends that happened to, right? Why did that happen? Give me Isaiah 50 and 21. Pulling the net. Hey, Gio, why did that happen? What's your name, bro? Antoine? What's your name? Jacques, Gio, Jacques, and Antoine. My name's Elkanah. What we showing y'all brothers out here today is we don't have to follow the crowd. We don't have to follow what the world is setting up to us. The world is set up to destroy us. Them gymnasiums is to glorify Greek gods.
Right.
The sports is to glorify Greek gods. The gang banging is to show murder. The KKK ain't gotta murder us no more. We doing that ourselves.
Right.
So we got enemies out here in a political high places that we're doing their bidding for them. So we gotta come up out of that and come back to the kings and gods that we are. Read what you got.
Bring it out. Book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
So the sons of God have fainted and they lie at the head of the streets. When you want to talk about the gang banging life, where do most brothers hang out at? At the head of the streets. On the street corners, slanging dope, gang banging. Hey, come over here, let me deal with y'all real quick, sis. Pull up. We here for our people. So we at the head of the streets and we doing nothing but evil. What are we doing with our lives? What are we doing for our nation? Read.
As a wild bull in a net.
As a wild bull in a net. Some of these young brothers out here are like wild bulls. Right. Very dangerous and very angry. You can say the wrong thing to the wrong brother and he'll snap like a wild bull. Right. And you know a wild bull can cause harm. It'll hurt somebody. God said our young men are like that today. Why is that? Why is our young men so riled up and pent up with anger that you just say the smallest thing to them, they'll pull out a gun and just shoot people? Or they ready to fight. Why are they a wild bull? It's because we forgot who we are. We don't know our identity. We think we need to be in the NBA to become somebody. Right. And when you find out the statistics that only 1% make it to the NBA, and when you don't make it, you feel like you ain't nothing. Right. You ain't nobody. So how do I get off this anger and aggression? Read.
They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
So we full of the fury of the Lord. Hey, let me ask you a question, brother. Have you ever learned your identity and where you come from? Give me Isaiah 1. A little bit. What do you know so far?
Hey, family. One thing I really do know, well, what I learned from school was that we originated from Indians, the rednecks, the turds, and
from the natives. We're natives here.
Yeah,
okay.
And that we crossed over into other territory. I recently learned today that the people who came to Colombia, the Americas, the European,
South America,
and stuff, it was actually the African Americans, the black people that came from Africa. We are the first people that came over here. And white people isn't really a race. White people originated from black people. It's black people with a lack of melanin.
Okay.
And not being exposed to enough sunlight.
That's very interesting that you learned that white people come from black people. So if white people come from black people from the beginning of time, so what color was the first man? If white people had to come from black people, what was the color of the first man?
The first man didn't have a color because he was by himself.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you out of the Bible the color of the first man God created.
Bring it out.
Read what you got.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground.
So God, when he first created Adam, he created him out of the dust of the ground.
That's right. Read it out.
What color is the dust of the ground, the dirt in the ground?
Read it out.
And the deeper you go, the darker it gets.
Right.
The darker it gets, right? So the first man that God created was a black man.
That's
Right.
You know why God created the first man to look black? Give me chapter 1, verse 26.
Read it out.
Do you know why? I'm going to show you. Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image.
Let us do what?
Let us make man in our image.
Let us make man in our image.
So the first black man was created in the image of God.
Right, so what does that mean? What does that mean God looks like?
Bring it out.
If God created the first black man
That's right.
in his image, that means God, out of this Bible, is black.
That's right.
God is a black God.
Right.
With all these distractions and sports and rap videos and gang movies and all that, you would never think the most intellectual being, highest power on the planet is a black man.
Right. That's right.
So they wanted to destroy us and make us inferior to follow their Greekish ways, to follow their American holidays, their American ways. But what we got to do is say, you know what? That is garbage. That is trash. I don't want to be like you, master.
Question.
Go ahead, you got a question. I love questions.
Like, well, it's a question and a favor.
Got
You
you.
gotta do a favor. I go to church every Sunday. I go to church tomorrow.
Don't
And
go
my
to church tomorrow, but go
my
ahead.
church would have, no, because my preacher, he believes in the same thing you guys do. He tells us all the time that God is black and stuff. I think he would love to hear what you guys have to say. He would love to hear.
Call your preacher, tell him to come over here right now.
His name is,
Hey,
I gotta ask my
if he a real servant of God, he'll come right now to the street corner and deal with your brothers.
My girl's grandma do. I can call her and I can have her do it.
Yeah, have your preacher come here right now. Because
Emmanuel Temple Church.
okay, and then what was your next question? I want to cut you off.
My next question?
Or your next, your next
I
question.
have no question. It was just that.
All praise. So now let me deal with this for a second. Give me Exodus 31 and 16.
Bring it out.
Sunday is the day of your worship that your pastor established the day of worship to worship God, right? Is that in the Bible to worship on Sunday, or is it to worship on Saturday?
Bring it out.
Which one is it, sister? Saturday. Thank you.
That's right.
Sis, what's your name, sis? DeAndrea? Leandria. My sister Leandria. You got some wisdom. It's Saturday. So if we say we believe in God and we serve God and we want to show God by our actions that we love him, why are we doing it a day that he didn't appoint? Why are we serving God in a day that he did not appoint to be his Sabbath day? We got to come back to what the Bible says and not what your pastor says is what I'm saying. All right, read what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 16. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generation, for a perpetual covenant.
So the children of Israel, which is on that sign right there, right? I'm pretty sure you've been here for a while. You know the blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the biblical Israelites. So God is only dealing with them. God said, the children of Israel must keep my Sabbaths as a perpetual covenant. Watch, read.
It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever.
It is a sign. When you keep the Sabbath day holy, it is a sign between me and the children of Israel, the chosen people of God. This is how we establish and recognize and exemplify that relationship we have with God that is exclusive only for us and nobody else. It's keeping the Sabbath day holy. It's very important. Now we're going to read a definition because the pastors keep it on Sunday. We're going to read what the scholars say.
That's right.
In a dictionary that the scholars, the white scholars,
Bring it out.
made this dictionary and gave us the definition of what Sabbath is in the dictionary.
Bring it
Go ahead,
out.
read that. Sabbath from Merriam-Webster. The seventh day of the week, observed from Friday evening to Saturday evening. When is it observed? From Friday evening to Saturday evening. From the dictionary.
24 hours.
From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Right? So from even to even.
Bring it out.
It's not Sunday. It's give me Ezekiel 22. What does it say? Woe to the pastors. 22 and 26. What was you saying, Leandria? I wanna build with you. Let's
He
communicate.
said that it's not really, the day doesn't really end when it's at 12 o'clock at midnight.
Right.
It ends when the moment the sun hits 12 o'clock and then it starts going down.
Right. So according to the Bible, it's when the sun goes down and it's completely dark. That's the start of a new day.
That's right.
That's the start of the new day.
That's right.
So when even the scholars know this, why they don't teach us this? Because God said the Sabbath was only for Israel and him. And the scholars know they're not Israel. So they want to keep the children of Israel in sin so they can continue to rule over us. Read that. Read what you got.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 26. Her priests have violated my law.
Her priests have violated God's law. Which priests are they talking about? You guys got the slave signs out here? Where the black? We're going to show you what the priest is talking about. So, give me 2 Corinthians 11 for my brother, my sister Leandria, and my brother, what's your name, bro? Jaquez. Jaquez. Oh, there's two Jaquez. There was another Jaquez. Okay. My name's Elkanah, brother. All praise. Good to meet you as well. So, Leandria, Jaquez, it says, her priests have violated my laws. I'm going to show you out of the Bible, God, not only does God have prophets and priests, Satan got prophets and priests out here as well. 11 and 14, read.
Bring it out.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
So don't be surprised that Satan himself has transformed as an angel of light. You know what Satan says? He said, all you have to do is pray for forgiveness, go to church on Sunday, and just have faith. And your sins will be forgiven, and Jesus will love you and save you. That is a priest of Satan.
Right.
That is not according to the Bible. God is a black man that's about actions to show him you love him.
That's right.
So the priests of Satan have violated God's laws. How have they violated God's laws? Throughout all these religions. John Smith, the creator of the Baptist Church in the 1608, priest of Satan. Joseph Smith, Mormon Church, priest of Satan. Ellen G. White, Seventh-day Adventist, priest of Satan. Go ahead, get a picture. Get a picture of this. These are priests of Satan that our people follow that keep us in sin, and we don't come and keep our Sabbath day holy. Go back to the Ezekiel. Was there more on that? Go ahead, finish that out.
Verse 15. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
So they have transformed themselves as ministers of righteousness. Joel Osteen, do y'all think he's a godly man? Joel Osteen? Do you know who Joel Osteen is?
No, sir.
So he's a well-known, prominent pastor in Texas. A white pastor that closes out stadiums for people to come listen to him. There was a hurricane that happened in Texas. And his congregants that were out of a house, he did not allow them to come into his church because he didn't want his church ruined. That is a priest of Satan. God's prophets are going to take care of the people when they need to be taken care of. Read what you got.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 26. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
So these priests that are under Satan don't put a difference between what's holy and what's profane. Like, what are we supposed to keep holy? The Sabbath day. Thank you. This is the catching. But the priests of Satan, and maybe some of our people don't realize it, that they're following Satan's ministers, right? But that's why we got to come out here with the Bible to show you the errors in your ways, to bring you out of that. The priests of Satan have said, don't keep Saturday holy, do it on Sunday. Right. You know why they want you to do it on Sunday, Leandra and Jaquez? The Catholic Church, the Catholic priests, which are one of the most pagan religions on the planet, they worship a sun god, Dagon. It's a sun god that they worship on Sundays. And they changed it from Saturday to Sunday. That's why you worship it on Sunday. Because the Christian church is part of that. And it happened all the way in the 1600s. When John Smith from the Baptist Church, we didn't keep it on Saturday, we kept it on Sunday. It was a custom throughout slavery that we kept, and we worship God on Sunday, which is a pagan day to worship God. You can't say, this is the day God told me, this is the day I want to serve God and keep it Sabbath, but on Saturday, I'm going to do what I want to do, I'm going to go wild out and party, I'm going to not worry about God on Saturday, but on a day he did not ordain, I'm going to go worship him on a false day to worship him. Does that make sense for us to do? No, it don't.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.